For 10 years, Michael Davidson had convinced himself he made the right decision. Sarah was lying. The pregnancy was a trap. He dodged a bullet by divorcing her before she could take half his fortune. For 10 years, he'd built an empire, dated supermodels, lived in penthouses, and never once looked back. Until today. Until he drove past Riverside Elementary and saw his ex-wife picking up two boys from school. Two identical boys. With his face, his eyes, his everything. And in that moment, Michael realized that for 10 years, he hadn't dodged a bullet. He'd abandoned his own children. Michael Davidson was 42 years old, CEO of Davidson Tech Solutions, worth $300 million. He sat in his $70,000 Mercedes, unable to move. The car had stopped at a red light across from Riverside Elementary School. Through his tinted window, he watched his entire reality shatter. The woman in the school pickup line was unmistakably Sarah Mitchell. She'd changed her last name back. Her hair was shorter now, streaked with gray that somehow made her more beautiful. She wore simple jeans and a sweater. She looked tired but content, laughing at something one of the boys was saying. The boys. Michael's eyes kept returning to them. Identical twins, maybe 9 years old, with dark brown hair that stuck up and back, exactly like his at their age. They wore matching backpacks but different colored shirts, one blue, one red. Their faces were his face at 9. Same sharp jawline, same green eyes, same crooked smile from every childhood photo of himself. The light turned green. Cars honked behind him. Michael didn't move. Those boys weren't just any children. They were genetically, undeniably, impossibly his sons. His hands trembled on the steering wheel. His breath came short. The leather interior suddenly felt suffocating. He loosened his tie, never taking his eyes off the three people who'd destroyed 10 years of certainty. 10 years ago this month, Sarah had come to his office crying, "Michael, I'm pregnant." He'd been 32, successful but not wealthy yet. They'd been married 3 years of constant fighting about money, his working hours, her desire for children when he wanted to build his company. "That's impossible," he'd said without looking up. "We use protection." "Protection isn't 100%. Michael, please look at me." He'd looked, and he'd seen calculation. His business partner had warned him, "Watch out. She's getting older. Women get desperate. She might baby trap you." "How convenient," he'd said coldly, "right after my $50 million deal, right when everyone knows my money." "This isn't about money," Sarah said. "Then prove it. DNA test. When it's born, we test it." She'd stood slowly, hand on her stomach. "You want proof I'm not lying about your child?" "Yes." "Then you don't trust me at all." She'd pulled off her ring. "I won't raise a child with someone who thinks I'm a liar." "File for divorce. I won't fight it." She'd walked out. Michael filed the next week. Sarah signed everything, took nothing, disappeared. No calls for money, no lawyers. Nothing. Which confirmed his suspicions. She hadn't been pregnant. It was a bluff. For 10 years, he'd believed that. The boy in red laughed. The sound carried through Michael's open window. His laugh. The too loud laugh his mother said made him sound like a donkey as a kid. Michael got out, legs unsteady in his expensive suit. He walked toward the school, staying across the street. His eyes never left the three people who destroyed his certainty. Sarah bent to tie a shoelace. Michael saw her tenderness, the boy leaning into her, the other talking excitedly, hands gesturing like Michael's did when passionate. His sons he'd never met, sons who didn't know he existed, sons Sarah raised alone 9 years while he built his empire. Sarah stood and looked directly at him. Their eyes met. He saw shock, fear, protectiveness, anger, and pain underneath. She recognized him. After 10 years, gray temples, an expensive suit, she knew who stared at her children. Her hand moved to her phone. Her body became a barrier between Michael and the boys, protecting them from him, their father. The boy in red tugged her hand. Michael couldn't hear but saw Sarah whisper to both boys. They looked at Michael curiously, then back with complete trust. Michael stepped forward, then stopped. The street felt like an ocean. What should he do? Walk over? I am the father who didn't believe you existed? Sarah was still watching. She said something to the boys, started walking to the parking lot with them, each holding her hand. She didn't look back. The message was clear. Stay away. Michael stood frozen, watching his sons disappear. Sons just discovered. Sons whose names he didn't know. Sons Sarah raised alone 9 years. And Michael understood he'd been wrong about everything. 10 years. He'd lost 10 years. And he didn't know if he could ever get them back. Michael sat in his car 20 minutes after they disappeared, unable to process what happened. His phone buzzed with office messages. He ignored them. For once in 10 years, business didn't matter. He needed to understand how he'd gotten here, how he'd missed 9 years of his children's lives. Michael forced himself to remember the marriage he'd tried to forget. He'd met Sarah Rodriguez at a tech conference 7 years before the divorce. She was 25, working as event coordinator, bright and funny and unimpressed by his success. That attracted him most. Everyone wanted something from him. Sarah just wanted him. They married after 2 years dating. It was good at first, really good. Sarah supported his business, worked her own job, talked about their future with optimism Michael never felt except about his company. Then the company took off. Michael worked 18-hour days, came home after midnight, skipped dinners, forgot anniversaries, canceled weekends for important meetings. Sarah was patient, then frustrated, then quietly resentful. I married you, not your company. When do I get to be the priority? You are the priority. I'm building this for us, our future. What future? We never see each other. We barely talk. Every time I mention family, you say, wait until business is stable. That was their core conflict. Sarah wanted children. Michael wanted his empire first. She saw it as him avoiding commitment. He saw it as financial responsibility. They fought constantly. Then Sarah's sister died in a car accident, leaving 2 young daughters. Michael watched Sarah grieve, throw herself into helping her nieces adjust. He saw longing in her eyes every time she looked at those girls. I want this, Michael, she'd said after visiting them. I want to be a mother. I want family. Life is short. My sister thought she had decades. She was wrong. I know, baby, soon, after this funding round. But there was always another funding round, another deal, another reason to wait. Sarah stopped asking. She stopped many things, stopped waiting up for him,
stopped trying to schedule date nights, stopped talking about the future. Their marriage became two people living separate lives in the same house. Michael noticed, but told himself it was temporary. Once the company stabilized, they'd reconnect. They'd have time. But companies never stabilize. There's always something more to build. Then came that day. The day Sarah walked into his office with tears and hope and fear all mixed together. "Michael, I'm pregnant." He should have seen her fear. Should have recognized this wasn't manipulation but genuine terror about his reaction. Should have remembered they'd talked about children eventually. Should have trusted the woman he'd married. Instead, he'd seen a trap. His business partner James had been in his ear for months. "Watch your back. You're about to be rich, really rich. People will come out of the woodwork, even people you trust." "Even Sarah?" Michael had asked. "Especially Sarah. She married you when you were successful. Now you're about to be wealthy. That's different. That's $50 million different." So when Sarah said she was pregnant, Michael heard trap. He heard manipulation. He heard someone trying to lock him down before he got too rich to care. "How convenient," he'd said. Those two words destroyed everything. Sarah's face had gone white. Not angry, not defensive, just white with shock that her husband could think that about her. "I see. I understand now." "Sarah, I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did. You meant exactly that. You think I got pregnant on purpose to trap you? To get your money? I just think we should verify." "Verify? You want to verify I'm telling the truth about being pregnant with your child? You want a DNA test to prove I'm lying? It's just standard." "It's not standard, Michael. It's you not trusting me. It's you thinking I'm capable of this kind of manipulation. It's you valuing your money more than our marriage." She'd pulled off her wedding ring. The diamond he'd spent 2 months' salary on when they were younger, and he was less cynical. She placed it on his desk. "File for divorce. I'm done." "Sarah, wait!" "No. I'm done waiting. Done hoping you'll choose me over your company. Done believing you'll ever trust me. I'm pregnant. You don't believe me. So we have nothing left." She'd walked out. Michael sat there, staring at the ring on his desk. Part of him wanted to run after her. Part of him felt relieved. And that part, the relieved part, told him everything he needed to know. He filed for the divorce the next week. Sarah signed without reading, took nothing. Her lawyer tried to negotiate, but Sarah refused. "I don't want his money. I never did." Which only confirmed Michael's suspicion. If she really was pregnant, she'd fight for child support. Since she didn't, she must be lying. Perfect circular logic, perfect justification, perfectly, catastrophically wrong. Michael had spent 10 years believing that story, building his empire, proving he'd made the right choice. Except he hadn't. The proof was in 2 9-year-old boys with his face.
Michael couldn't leave. Not after seeing them. Not after knowing the truth. He sat in his car for another hour, watching the street where they disappeared, trying to build courage for what came next. He pulled out his phone. He still had Sarah's old number saved. 10 years, and he'd never deleted it. Never called it either. He pressed call. It rang 3 times. Then her voice. Different, but same. "Hello?" "Sarah, it's Michael." Silence. " Long silence. Then, "How did you get this number?" I never deleted it. You kept my number for 10 years, but never called? I thought. Michael stopped. What could he say? I thought you were lying? I thought there was no reason to call? You thought I was lying, Sarah finished. And now you know different. I saw them, Sarah. I saw them, and You saw them? Great. Now what, Michael? What do you want? I want to meet them. I want to know them. You want. You want. What about what they need? What I need? They need their father. Sarah laughed, bitter. They needed their father 9 years ago, when I was in labor alone, when I brought them home to a studio apartment, when Evan had colic and screamed for 6 months straight, when Ethan broke his arm and I had to choose between emergency room bills and rent. Where were you then? Each word was a knife. Michael deserved every one. I'm sorry. Sorry? You're sorry? Michael, sorry doesn't give me back 10 years of raising twins alone. Sorry doesn't pay the bills I couldn't afford. Sorry doesn't answer the 1,000 times they asked, why don't we have a daddy? What did you tell them? About me? The truth. That their father didn't believe they were his, that he left before they were born, that it wasn't their fault. I want to fix this. You can't fix this. You can't unabandon children. You can't take back 10 years. I can try. Sarah, please, give me a chance. Why should I? You had chance after chance. Every day for 10 years, you could have looked for us. You have resources. You could have hired investigators. You could have checked. But you didn't want to know. She was right. Michael had actively avoided knowing, because knowing meant admitting he was wrong. I'm sorry, he said again. I know that's not enough, but I want to be their father now. Stop saying you want. This isn't about you. It's about 2 little boys who've built a life without you, a happy life, and I won't let you waltz in and destroy that. I'm not trying to destroy anything. I'm trying to be part of their lives. Why? Guilt? Obligation? Or did seeing them make you realize you want heirs for your empire? The accusation stung because part of it was true. Michael had thought about that, about having sons to pass his company to, but that wasn't all of it. I want to know my children, Michael said quietly. Not as heirs, as sons, as people. I missed 10 years. I don't want to miss more. Silence on the line. Michael could hear Sarah breathing, considering. Their names are Ethan James and Evan Thomas Mitchell. My father's names. They have my last name because you weren't there. Ethan and Evan, Michael repeated. His sons had names now. Real names. Ethan is the quiet one. Loves books. Reads 3 grades ahead. Wants to be a scientist. Evan is loud, funny, never stops talking, wants to be a comedian. They're different, but inseparable. They've never spent a night apart. Michael closed his eyes, memorizing every detail. His sons, Ethan and Evan. They play soccer, both terrible at it, but love it. They take piano lessons. Ethan's good, Evan just bangs keys. They have their own language sometimes. Twin thing. They finish each other's sentences. Tell me more, Michael said softly. Why should I? You didn't care for 10 years. I care now. Sarah, I know I destroyed everything. I know I don't deserve this, but please, tell me about my sons. Another long silence. Then Sarah said, Ethan has your analytical mind. He takes everything apart to understand how it works. Broke 3 toasters before I learned to hide appliances. Evan has your charisma. Makes friends everywhere. Teachers love him, even when he's disrupting class. They sound amazing. They are amazing. I raised them to be amazing. Alone. The emphasis on alone was pointed. Deserved. I want a DNA test. Then immediately regretted it when Sarah's tone changed. Are you kidding me right now? You're looking at genetic copies of yourself, and you need proof? Not for me, for custody. Legally, I need to establish paternity before custody. Sarah's voice rose. You think you're getting custody after abandoning them? You're not on birth certificates. You have no rights. I can establish paternity. You can traumatize two children. Is that what you want? No, I want to be their father. Then prove it. Not with DNA tests and custody battles. Prove you're not going to walk away again. Prove you're worth the risk of letting you in. Because if you hurt them, Michael, if you walk away again, I will make sure you never see them again, legally or otherwise. The threat was clear and fair. Tell me what I need to do, Michael said. Tell me how to prove it.
Sarah made Michael wait 3 days before she called back. 3 days of agony where he couldn't work, couldn't sleep, couldn't think about anything except those 2 boys with his face. When her call finally came, Michael answered before the first ring finished. "I've thought about it," Sarah said without preamble. "I talked to my therapist, my lawyer, and my sister's kids who are old enough to understand. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I'm going to give you a chance. 1 chance. With conditions." "Anything," Michael said immediately. "Don't agree before you hear them. These are non-negotiable. Break any rule, and you're done. Forever." "I understand." "First condition. No DNA test unless I agree to it. You don't get to treat me like a liar again. You believe me or you walk away now." Michael wanted to argue about legal protection, about establishing paternity officially, but he remembered Sarah's white face 10 years ago when he demanded proof. "Agreed." "Second, you meet them as my friend, not their father, not yet. Your Uncle Mike, an old friend who wants to get to know them. When or if we tell them the truth, that's my decision, my timeline." Uncle Mike. Michael swallowed his objection. He wanted to be called Dad, but he'd lost that right. "Agreed." Third, you see them on my terms, my house, my schedule. You don't show up at their school. You don't follow them. You don't send gifts without asking me first. Every interaction goes through me. Agreed. Fourth, if they don't like you, you back off. If spending time with you upsets them, hurts them, confuses them, you walk away. Their well-being comes before your desire to be their father. That one hurt, the possibility they might not like him, but it was fair. Agreed. Fifth, no lawyers, no custody fights, no legal maneuvers. If you try to use your money and resources to take my children, I will disappear and you will never find us. I've done it for 10 years. I can do it again. The threat was real. Sarah had kept herself hidden perfectly for a decade. Agreed. No lawyers. Sixth, you tell them the truth when I say you tell them, not before. You don't hint, you don't make them guess. You don't create confusion. When the time is right, we sit down together and explain. But timing is mine. How will you know when the time is right? When I trust you won't break their hearts. Which might be never. Be prepared for that. Michael's chest tightened. The possibility he might never get to say, "I'm your father," was crushing. But again, fair. Agreed. Seventh, you attend therapy, weekly, with a family counselor I choose. You work through whatever made you think I was capable of lying about being pregnant. You figure out your trust issues, because I won't expose my children to someone who could abandon them over suspicion. Agreed. I'll start immediately. Eighth, you contribute financially, not to me, to a trust fund for their college.
You put in what you should have paid in child support for 10 years. My lawyer calculated it. $120,000. That's 10 years of basic support, nothing extravagant. $120,000 was pocket change to Michael. He'd spent more on his car. But he heard what Sarah was really saying. You owe them for what you missed. I'll transfer it tomorrow. 9th, you are patient. You don't rush them. You don't buy their affection. You don't try to be the fun parent who gets to swoop in without doing the hard work. You build real relationship, slowly. How slowly? As slowly as they need. Might be months before they trust you, years before they love you, maybe never. You accept that. Michael closed his eyes. Years. He'd already lost 10. Agreed. And 10th and final, you never lie to them. Not about why you weren't there, not about why you left, not about anything. When they're old enough to ask the hard questions, you answer honestly. You tell them, you didn't believe I was pregnant. You tell them you chose money over family. You tell them you were wrong. This was the hardest condition. Admitting to his sons that he had abandoned them, that he had valued his company over their existence, that he had failed them before they were even born. I'll tell them the truth, Michael said quietly. All of it. Then we have a deal. You break any of these rules, you're done. No second chances. I'm giving you one opportunity because those boys deserve to know their father. But I will protect them above everything. Even from you. Especially from you. I understand. When can I meet them? Saturday, 2 p.m. My apartment. Bring nothing. No expensive gifts, no toys, nothing. Just yourself. And Michael, don't make me regret this. Sarah gave him the address and hung up. Michael sat staring at his phone. Saturday. 3 days away. 3 days until he met his sons as Uncle Mike. 3 days to figure out how to be someone worth knowing. He'd built a $300 million company from nothing. Surely he could build a relationship with 2 9-year-old boys. But business was easy. Business followed rules. Business made sense. Children were something else entirely. And Michael was terrified he'd fail them again.
Saturday, 2 p.m. Michael stood outside Sarah's apartment building. He checked his watch. His hands were empty. No gifts, no toys. Just like Sarah said. He pressed the buzzer. Yes? It's Michael. The door buzzed open. The elevator stopped at the 4th floor. His heart was pounding. He could hear children's voices inside, laughter, running footsteps. He knocked. Sarah opened the door. Jeans and a blue shirt, hair down. You're early. I didn't want to be late. Come in. They're in the living room. She grabbed his arm. Remember, Uncle Mike. That's all. The apartment was small. Children's drawings on the refrigerator, 3 backpacks by the door. Ethan, Noah, Liam. Michael stopped breathing. 3 boys sat on the couch, identical, same dark hair, same brown eyes. His eyes. Boys, this is Mr. Stevens, a friend from work. Uncle Mike, Michael said. You can call me Uncle Mike. The boy on the left spoke. Why? You're not our uncle. You're right. It's just something adults say. But call me Mike if you want. The middle boy tilted his head. Are you a basketball player? No. I work with computers. Boring, the third boy said. They ate sandwiches at the kitchen table. The boys asked questions. What kind of car do you have? Have you been to space? Can you do a backflip? Michael answered honestly. No space,
No backflip. Nice car, but not Batman's. And their mom was pretty heroic. Sarah blushed. The boys giggled. After lunch, the smallest boy stood. "Want to see our room?" Sarah nodded. The bedroom was small. Bunk beds. Posters everywhere. Lego builds on shelves. "Did you build all these?" "Ethan did most. He's good at instructions. I'm better at sports." "Liam draws really good." "Really well," the smallest corrected. "Mom says good grammar." Michael's throat closed. Sarah raised them right. "Can you come back next week?" Ethan asked. Michael looked at Sarah. She gave a small nod. "I'd really like that." "Okay," all three boys said together, then laughed. 2 hours later, Michael stood in the hallway. "You did well. They liked you," Sarah said. "They're amazing. This was the easy part. It gets harder." "I know, but I'll be here every Saturday." Sarah studied his face. "We'll see. Good night." The elevator descended. Michael was smiling. He had a long way to go, but today he took the first step. His sons called him Uncle Mike. The next week, Michael arrived at 2 p.m. The boys ran to the door. "Uncle Mike, we made something." Ethan handed him a drawing. 3 stick figures and 1 tall one. "That's us and you." Michael stared. 4 people. A family. "Do you like it?" "I love it." They built Legos. Ethan explained every step. Noah knocked down towers. Liam drew pictures. "Uncle Mike, are you married?" "No." "Do you have kids?" Michael froze. Sarah looked at him, warning. "No, I don't." "Why not?" "I work a lot, never made time for family." "That's sad," Liam said. "Yeah, it is." "You can be part of our family," Ethan said. "We don't have a dad." Michael looked at Sarah. She had tears in her eyes. "I'd like that very much." Over the next month, Saturdays became everything. Michael learned Ethan loved space, Noah loved soccer, and Liam loved drawing. All 3 loved pizza. All 3 had nightmares. All 3 asked about their father. "Mom says our dad didn't know about us," Noah said one Saturday. "That's right," Sarah confirmed. "But if he knew, would he want us?" Ethan asked. Sarah sat with the boys. "Your father made a mistake, a big one, but if he knew, I think he'd want to be part of your lives." "Will we ever meet him?" Liam asked. Michael's hands shook. Sarah looked at him. This was the moment. Sarah shook her head slightly. "Not yet. Maybe someday, when the time is right." The boys nodded. They went back to playing. Michael exhaled. One more Saturday, one more step, one more chance to prove he could be the father they deserved, even if they didn't know that's who he was.
3 months passed. Every Saturday at 2 p.m., Michael arrived at Sarah's apartment. He never missed a week. Not for business trips, not for meetings, not for anything. The boys started waiting by the window. "He's here!" Noah would shout when Michael's car pulled up. One Saturday, Michael arrived with a soccer ball. "I thought we could go to the park," he said. The boys jumped up and down. Sarah smiled. At the park, Noah showed off his skills. He dribbled around Michael easily. "You're really good," Michael said. "I'm the best player on my team. Coach says I could go professional." "That's amazing." Ethan sat under a tree reading a book about planets. Michael sat next to him. "What are you reading?" "About Mars. Did you know a day on Mars is almost the same as Earth? 24 hours and 39 minutes? "I didn't know that." "Most people don't, but it's important if we want to live there someday." Liam was drawing on his tablet. He showed Michael a picture of a superhero. That's really good. Did you make that up? Yeah. His name is Captain Justice. He helps people who don't have families. Michael's chest tightened. That's a great superhero. Do you want me to draw you? Sure. Liam studied Michael's face carefully, then drew. 5 minutes later, he showed the result. It was surprisingly accurate. That's incredible, Liam. You're really talented. The boy beamed. On the drive home, Noah asked, Uncle Mike, why don't you have a family? Sarah tensed in the passenger seat. I used to think work was more important. I made a lot of mistakes. Like what? Like not seeing what really mattered. Like putting money before people. That is a mistake, Ethan said from the back. Yeah, a big one. But you're fixing it now, right? By spending time with us? Michael looked in the rearview mirror. 3 identical faces staring at him with hope. Yeah, I'm trying to fix it. The next month, everything changed. Michael arrived on Saturday. Sarah opened the door. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. What's wrong? Noah's sick. High fever. I need to take him to urgent care, but I can't leave Ethan and Liam alone. I'll stay with them. Michael, you don't have to. I want to. Go. Take care of Noah. Sarah grabbed her keys and purse. Noah was on the couch, pale and shivering. Uncle Mike's staying with you two, Sarah told Ethan and Liam. Be good. The door closed. Michael stood in the living room with 2 9-year-old boys staring at him. Is Noah going to be okay? Liam asked. His voice was small. Your mom's going to take good care of him. He'll be fine. But what if he's not? Michael knelt down. Hey, look at me. Your brother is strong, and your mom is smart. They'll be back soon. Ethan was trying to be brave, but his hands were shaking. When our mom died, Noah got really sick too. We thought he was going to die. Michael's heart stopped. Your mom died? Our birth mom, Ethan clarified. She died when we were born. It's just been Mom Sarah since then. Michael felt like he'd been punched. Sarah was their adoptive mother? No, that couldn't be right. But Mom Sarah is our real mom, though, Liam said quickly. She chose us. That's better than just being born to someone. Michael couldn't speak. Uncle Mike, Ethan touched his arm. Are you okay? Yeah, sorry. I didn't know. It's okay. Most people don't. We don't really talk about it. Michael pulled himself together. These boys needed him right now. Okay, so how about we make dinner? When your mom gets home with Noah, we'll have food ready. We can cook? Liam's eyes went wide. We can try. They made spaghetti. Sort of. Ethan followed the recipe exactly. Liam made garlic bread. Michael tried not to burn anything. This is fun, Ethan said, stirring the sauce. Yeah, it is. 2 hours later, Sarah came home with Noah. The fever had broken. He was okay. What's that smell? Noah asked weakly. We made dinner, Liam announced proudly. They all ate together. The spaghetti was overcooked. The garlic bread was burnt on one side, but nobody cared. Thank you, Sarah said quietly to Michael, for staying, for helping. Anytime. That night, Michael sat in his car outside the apartment building. His hands gripped the steering wheel. Sarah wasn't their real mother. She adopted them. Which meant, what? Where was their real mother, and who was their father? His phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. We need to talk. Tomorrow.
alone. Michael stared at the message. His world was about to change again. He could feel it.
Sunday morning, Michael met Sarah at a coffee shop 3 blocks from her apartment. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes. "Thanks for coming," she said. "What's going on, Sarah?" She wrapped her hands around her coffee cup. Didn't drink it. "I need to tell you something. About the boys." "Okay." "I lied to you." Michael's stomach dropped. "What?" "I'm not their adoptive mother. I'm their biological mother." The world stopped. "What are you talking about? Last night, Ethan said—" "Ethan doesn't know the truth. None of them do. Sarah, let me explain. Please." Michael nodded. His hands were shaking. Sarah took a breath. 10 years ago, I was pregnant. With triplets. I told the father. He didn't believe me. He thought I was lying to trap him. He offered me money to disappear. Michael's face went white. I refused the money. I left. I raised them alone. But when they got older, they started asking questions about their father, where he was, why he left. So you lied? I told them their mother died in childbirth, that I adopted them. It was easier than explaining their father didn't want them. Michael stood up. His chair scraped against the floor. People turned to look. You're saying those boys are yours? Yes. I couldn't breathe. You let me spend 3 months with them? You let me get close to them, and you didn't tell me? I needed to see if you'd changed. Changed? Sarah, they're my sons! Are they? Her voice was cold now. Because 10 years ago, you said they weren't. You called me a liar. You said I was trying to ruin your life. Michael put his head in his hands. I was wrong. God, Sarah, I was so wrong. Yes, you were. Why didn't you tell me sooner? When I first came back? Because you needed to earn it. You needed to prove you cared about them. Not about being right. Not about your ego. About them. I do care about them. I know. That's why I'm telling you now. Michael looked up, tears on his face. What do we do now? That's up to you. What do you mean? You can walk away, right now. The boys don't know who you are. They'll never know. You can go back to your life. I'm not walking away. Then we tell them the truth. Michael's chest tightened. How? Together. Today. When you come over for your regular visit. Sarah, they'll hate me. Maybe. Maybe not. But they deserve to know. That afternoon, Michael arrived at the apartment. His hands were sweating. The boys ran to the door as usual. Uncle Mike. Hey, guys. Something in his voice made them pause. Ethan tilted his head. Are you okay? Yeah. I need to talk to you all. Is that okay? They sat on the couch. All 3 boys. Sarah stood behind them. Michael sat in the chair across from them. What's wrong? Noah asked. Michael looked at Sarah. She nodded. Guys, I need to tell you something important about who I am. You're Uncle Mike, Liam said simply. I'm more than that. I'm your father. Silence. Ethan spoke first. What? I'm your biological father. No. Our father didn't know about us. Mom said, I lied, Sarah said quietly. He knew. He just didn't believe I was pregnant. All 3 boys turned to look at their mother. You lied? Ethan's voice cracked. I'm sorry. I was trying to protect you. From what? Noah demanded. From being hurt. Liam started crying. So our mom didn't die? No, baby. I'm your mom. I've always been your mom. And he's our dad? Ethan pointed at Michael. Yes. But he left us. Michael leaned forward.
I made a terrible mistake. The worst mistake of my life. Your mom told me I was pregnant, and I didn't believe her. I thought she was lying. Why would you think that? Noah asked. Because I was stupid and selfish and scared. So you just left? Yes. Ethan stood up. Get out. Ethan, Sarah started. No, get out. You're not our dad. You're just some guy who didn't want us. That's not true, Michael said. I want you. I've always wanted you. I just didn't know you were mine until it was too late. So now what? Ethan asked. You want us to just forgive you? No. I want you to give me a chance. To prove I can be the father you deserve. The boys looked at each other. Some silent communication Michael couldn't read. We need to think about it, Ethan said finally. Okay. Can you leave now? Michael nodded. He stood up, looked at each of his sons, then walked to the door. Sarah followed him into the hallway. Give them time, she said. What if they never forgive me? Then you keep trying. That's what being a parent means. Michael walked to the elevator. Inside, he finally broke down. His sons knew the truth now, and they hated him.
1 week passed. Michael called Sarah every day. Can I see them? They're not ready. Can I talk to them? Not yet. Michael, Sarah, give them space. But Michael couldn't just wait. He showed up at their school, stood outside the fence during recess, just watching, making sure they saw him, making sure they knew he wasn't giving up. Ethan saw him first, turned away, walked back inside. Noah saw him next, stared for a long moment, then followed his brother. Liam saw him last, waved, then looked scared and ran. The school called Sarah. There's a man watching the boys. I know, he's their father. Should we call security? No, he won't hurt them. He's just trying. 2 weeks passed. Michael sent letters, one for each boy. Sarah screened them first. The letters were simple, honest. Dear Ethan, I know you're angry. You have every right to be. I made the worst mistake a father can make. I wasn't there, but I'm here now, and I'll keep being here, even if you never forgive me. Love, your dad. Dear Noah, I saw you playing soccer yesterday. You scored 3 goals. You're incredible. I wish I could have been there for every game before. I can't change the past, but I'd like to be there for every game in the future, if you'll let me. Love, your dad. Dear Liam, thank you for waving at me. It meant everything. I still have the drawing you made of me. It's on my desk at work. Everyone asks who drew it. I tell them my son did, because I'm proud of you. Love, your dad. Sarah gave them the letters. She didn't force them to read them, but she left them on their beds. That night, she heard crying. She went to check. All 3 boys were reading their letters. 3 weeks passed. Michael changed everything about his life. He moved his office schedule around Saturdays. He declined meetings. He turned down business trips. His assistant was confused. Sir, the Tokyo deal needs your attention. Handle it. But you always, I said, handle it. I have something more important. His business partners were angry. You're throwing away millions for what? For my sons. You don't even have custody. Not yet, but I will, even if it takes years. 4 weeks passed. Michael showed up at the apartment, not on Saturday, on Tuesday night. He knocked. Sarah answered, What are you doing here? I know Noah has a soccer game tomorrow. Can I go? Michael, I won't sit near you. I won't talk to him. I'll just watch, from far away. Please. Sarah sighed. Field 7, 3 p.m. The next day, Michael sat in the bleachers, far corner, away from everyone. The boys' team warmed up. Noah looked up, saw Michael,
His face hardened. He looked away. The game started. Noah played like he was angry, fast, aggressive. He scored once, twice, 3 times. His team won. Everyone cheered. His teammates high-fived him. Michael clapped from his corner, alone. As the team left, Noah stopped, turned around, looked at Michael. Michael raised his hand, a small wave. Noah didn't wave back, but he didn't look away either. Then he left. It was something. 6 weeks passed. Sarah called Michael. "They want to see you." Michael's heart stopped. "What?" "Saturday, 2 p.m. Like before, but things are different now." "I understand." Saturday came. Michael knocked. The door opened. 3 boys stood there. No smiles, no running, just standing. "Hi," Michael said. "Hi," they said back. It was awkward, painful, nothing like before. They sat in the living room. Nobody spoke. Finally, Ethan broke the silence. "We have questions." "Okay." "Why didn't you believe Mom?" Michael took a breath. "I was scared. Your mom and I weren't together very long. When she said she was pregnant, I thought it was impossible. I thought she wanted my money. But she didn't." "No, she didn't. She just wanted me to be a father, and I failed." "Why should we give you another chance?" Noah asked. "Because I'm different now. I know what matters, and it's not money, it's not work, it's you 3. "Prove it," Ethan challenged. "How?" "Give up your company." Sarah's eyes went wide. "Ethan, that's not—" "No, it's fair," Michael interrupted. "You want to know if I care more about you than my business?" "Yes." Michael pulled out his phone, made a call, right there. Speaker on. "David, it's Michael. I'm stepping down as CEO, effective immediately. You're in charge now." "What? Michael, are you insane?" "No, I'm finally sane. Handle it." He hung up. Looked at the boys. "I had $300 million. I'd give up every penny. My company, my house, everything, for a chance to be your father." The boys stared. "You're serious?" Noah whispered. "Completely." Liam stood up, walked over, looked Michael in the eyes. "Okay, you can try." "Try what?" "Being our dad." Michael's vision blurred. "Yeah? Yeah. But one mistake, one lie, and you're done." "I understand." Ethan and Noah exchanged looks, then nodded. "Okay," Ethan said, "but we're not calling you dad yet." "That's fair. You have to earn it." "I will. I promise." For the first time in 6 weeks, Michael smiled. His sons were giving him a chance. He wasn't going to waste it.
3 months later, things were different. Michael came over twice a week now, Tuesdays and Saturdays. He helped with homework, drove them to soccer practice, went to Liam's art shows, attended Ethan's science fair. He wasn't Uncle Mike anymore, but he wasn't Dad either. The boys just called him Michael. One Tuesday night, Michael was helping Ethan with math homework. Fractions. Ethan was frustrated. "I don't get it. Why do we need a common denominator?" "Because you can't add different size pieces. Look." Michael drew circles on paper. "Pizza slices. You have half a pizza. Your brother has a third. How much total?" Ethan stared at the drawing. Then his eyes lit up. "Oh, you have to make the slices the same size first." "Exactly. That actually makes sense. Math usually does once someone explains it, right?" Ethan smiled. First real smile he'd given Michael in months. On Saturday, Noah had a championship game. His team was down by 1, 2 minutes left. Noah got the ball. He ran, dodged 3 defenders, shot. Goal! The crowd erupted. Sarah screamed. Liam jumped up and down. Michael stood and clapped, loud, proud. Noah looked up at the stands, saw Michael. For the first time, he smiled back. After the game, the team celebrated.
Parents congratulated Noah. "Your son is incredible," one dad said to Sarah. "Thank you." The dad looked at Michael. "You must be proud." Michael froze. Sarah looked at him. Noah was watching too. "I am," Michael said quietly. "Very proud." Noah's smile got bigger. 2 weeks later, Liam had a nightmare. 3 a.m. He woke up crying. Sarah went to comfort him, but Liam asked for Michael. "Can Michael come over?" "Honey, it's 3 in the morning. Please." Sarah called Michael. He answered on the first ring. "What's wrong?" "Liam had a nightmare. He's asking for you." "I'll be there in 10 minutes." Michael broke every speed limit. He arrived in 8 minutes, still in pajamas. Liam was on the couch, eyes red, clutching a pillow. "Hey, buddy, your mom said you had a bad dream?" "It was about you." Michael's chest tightened. "What happened in it?" "You left again. You said you didn't want us anymore. You drove away and never came back." Michael sat next to him. "Liam, look at me. That's never going to happen." "How do you know?" "Because leaving you three was the biggest mistake of my life. I'm never making that mistake again." "Promise?" "Promise." Liam leaned against Michael's shoulder. "Okay." They sat there until Liam fell back asleep. Michael carried him to bed, tucked him in. Sarah was in the hallway. "Thank you for coming," she whispered. "Anytime." "I mean it. You're really trying." "They're my sons. Of course I'm trying." They're starting to believe that. 6 months after the truth came out, Sarah called a family meeting. "We need to talk about something important." The boys looked nervous, Michael too. "What's wrong?" Ethan asked. "Nothing's wrong, but Michael and I need to make some decisions about custody, about how much time you spend with him." "What kind of decisions?" Noah asked. "Right now, Michael visits, but legally he has no custody rights. We need to change that." "So he'd take us away?" Liam's voice was small. "No," Michael said quickly. "Never. Your mom is your home. I just want it to be official, that I'm your father, that I have a right to be part of your lives." "You already are part of our lives," Ethan said. "I know, but this makes it permanent, legal, so nothing can take that away." The boys looked at each other, then at Sarah. "We want that," Noah said. "Don't we?" Ethan and Liam nodded. "Yeah," Ethan agreed. "We do." Michael's eyes filled with tears. "Yeah?" "Yeah." 1 year after the truth came out, everything changed. It was a regular Saturday. They were at the park, playing soccer. Ethan was goalie, Noah and Michael versus Liam and Sarah. Noah scored. He and Michael high-fived. "Nice pass, Dad." Everyone froze. Noah's eyes went wide. "I mean, Michael, I didn't mean—" "Say it again," Michael whispered. "What?" "Say it again, please." Noah smiled. "Nice pass, Dad." Michael dropped to his knees, pulled Noah into a hug. His shoulders shook. "Are you crying?" Noah asked. "Yeah." "Is it okay that I called you Dad?" "It's more than okay. It's everything." Ethan walked over. "Does this mean we can all call you Dad now?" "If you want to." "I want to," Liam said immediately. "Me too," Ethan added. Michael looked up at Sarah. She was crying too, smiling. "Thank you," Michael mouthed to her. She nodded. That night, Michael tucked all 3 boys into bed. A routine now, natural. "Dad," Ethan called out. "Yeah." "I'm glad you came back." "Me too." "Even though you messed up before?" "Especially because I messed up before. It taught me what really matters." "What's that?" "You 3, and your mom. You're my whole world now." "Good, because you're stuck with us." "Forever," Liam added. Michael smiled in the dark. Forever sounds perfect. He kissed each of them goodnight, turned off the light, started to leave. "Dad," all 3 voices at once. "Yeah." "We love you." Michael gripped the doorframe, took a breath. "I love you too, more than anything." He closed the door, walked down the hallway. Sarah was waiting. They called you Dad. They did. How does it feel? Michael looked at her. Like I finally found my way home. Sarah squeezed his hand. Welcome home, Michael. 1 year, 12 months, 365 days. That's how long it took Michael to become a father. Not when they were born, when they finally let him in.
5 years later. Michael stood in the backyard of his new house. Not the mansion he used to own. Something smaller. A real home. With a yard for soccer, a garage for bikes, rooms for 3 growing boys. Sarah lived 2 blocks away, joint custody, 50-50. But really, they were all one family now. The boys were 14 now, tall, almost as tall as Michael. Their voices had changed. They looked more like him every day. "Dad, come on, we're going to be late," Noah called from the car. Today was Ethan's science competition, state finals. His project was about sustainable energy on Mars. He'd been working on it for months. Michael grabbed his keys. "Coming." At the competition, Ethan presented his project. Confident, articulate, brilliant. Michael watched with tears in his eyes. When they announced the winners, Ethan took first place. The crowd applauded. Ethan looked at Michael, smiled, mouthed, "We did it." Michael mouthed back, "You did it." But Ethan shook his head, pointed at Michael, then at himself. "We." That night, they celebrated at home. Pizza, ice cream, all of Ethan's favorites. Sarah came over. She and Michael had become friends again. Real friends. Co-parents. Partners in raising 3 incredible boys. "Remember when you first came back?" Sarah asked. 5 years ago? "Every day," Michael said. "Do you regret it? Giving up your company, your old life?" Michael looked around. Noah was showing Liam a new soccer trick. Ethan was explaining his project to anyone who would listen. Laughter filled the house. Not for 1 second. "What about the money?" "I have enough. More than enough. But even if I didn't," he gestured to the boys, "this is wealth. Real wealth." Sarah smiled. "You really did change. I had to. They deserved better than who I was." They got it. Later, after Sarah left and the boys were in bed, Michael sat on the porch, looking at the stars. His phone had 17 missed calls from business contacts, old associates, people wanting him back in the corporate world. He deleted them all. His new job was simple. He consulted part-time, enough to pay bills, enough to save for college. But most of his time belonged to his sons. Every soccer game, every art show, every parent-teacher conference, every family dinner. He'd never missed another one. The door opened. Liam came out. "Can't sleep?" Michael asked. "Just thinking." "About what?" Liam sat next to him. "About how different our lives would be if you never came back." "Better or worse?" "Worse. Definitely worse." "You had your mom. She's amazing." "Yeah, but we needed you too. We just didn't know it." Michael put his arm around his son. "I'm the one who needed you.
You saved me. How? Before you, I was empty. Rich but empty. Successful but miserable. You three gave me purpose. Gave me a reason to be better. You were just kids. Exactly. You were just kids who deserved a father. And I finally became one. They sat in silence for a moment. Dad? Yeah? Thank you for not giving up. Even when we hated you. Even when we said terrible things, you kept trying. That's what fathers do. They keep trying, no matter what. I know that now. The next morning, Michael drove the boys to school. As they got out, Noah turned back. Dad, Friday is career day. Can you come talk to my class? About what? About your job. About business. Michael shook his head. I don't have that job anymore. I know. That's why I want you to come. I want to tell them about how you gave it up for us. I think that's pretty cool. Michael's throat closed up. Yeah, I'll come. Thanks, Dad. As he drove away, Michael thought about what he'd say to Noah's class. He'd tell them the truth, that he'd made mistakes, huge ones, that he'd chosen money over family, success over love, his ego over his children. But he'd also tell them that it's never too late to change, never too late to choose what really matters, never too late to become the person you should have been all along. His sons gave him a second chance, and he spent every day proving he deserved it. 5 years ago, Michael thought he'd lost everything. His sons, his chance at being a father, his opportunity to be part of something real. But he learned that second chances exist if you're willing to work for them, if you're willing to change, if you're willing to put your children first. Today, Michael has 3 sons who call him Dad, a life filled with purpose, a family he fought to keep, and a lesson he'll never forget. It's never too late to do the right thing. Sometimes the people we've hurt the most are the ones who deserve our greatest efforts. Family isn't just about blood. It's about showing up, about choosing love over pride, about never giving up on the people that matter most. If you have someone in your life you need to make things right with, don't wait. Tomorrow isn't promised. Second chances aren't guaranteed. But the effort is always worth it. Because in the end, the only wealth that matters is the love of the people who call you family. If this story touched your heart, remember, it's never too late to change. It's never too late to come home.